Jeff and Wilma at Budrum. This afternoon we're going to put some bees into the brood box of flow hives. 2 brood boxes here, and we've got another brood box over here that belongs to another person. This has already got bees in it, but we've got to swap a few frames around. Have a look at the wood, the finish. Isn't that beautiful?
It is. It's lovely.
Look at that one there.
That one's lovely. Those 2 are really nice.
Yeah. There's been a bit of an issue about discoloration. You got that colour there against that colour, which some people probably might not like. It's probably too late for me now because I've got all my white boxes. So this is the hive here that the bees are coming out of, and I'm going to transfer the bees from this hive into the flow box and use all their frames, and I'll show you what we did. They're going with starter strips, so we'll talk about that. So this hive has a good colony, a good sized colony with a nice young queen. So she's been proved that she's laying fertile eggs, and in order to get the bees to build nice and straight, so what I did was I had a couple of really strong hives that I wanted to prevent from swarming, so I took every second frame out of the brood and replaced them with these frames. You can see here they're nice and straight. The only thing is they've built a fair bit of drone comb, so I'm going to cut that out.
Oh, that's because it was foundationless.
Foundationless, and it was starter strips. So that's the reason why I like to use wax foundation, so that we get mostly workers. By using wax foundation, the bees are going to make a few holes here and there, and if they want to, they can repair those holes with drone comb. Because these frames don't belong to this person, I'm just going to shake the bees off into here. Now let's see if we can see the queen. It goes to the other blokes. This frame belongs to that person that we're doing the colony for. So far they've built all worker on that, and there's a beetle there.
Yeah.
So I'll just, anyway, the bees will chase him out. So I'll put this frame here. So I've got 4 empty frames here, 2 each side. They haven't been started, so I'll put this frame next to one of those.
I haven't seen her.
No, but there's all the bottom box to go yet.
Oh, okay. There's the queen.
Is it? Where? Oh yeah, well, isn't she a ripper?
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
I've got her now. Beautiful.
Yeah, so
she's beautiful. Look at all those bees gone through that bottom
somebody
mesh.
was talking about that on the flow forum, about the bees getting through that wire, and it looks like they can.
Yeah, well, they are.
They can get through the wire.
They are. They're all gone in underneath it. They're all going through and crawling underneath that wire there.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, I saw a bee chasing a beetle.
Yeah, so anyway, taking these bees into the box, that they're going
straight through that wire.
Straight into that wire. So I'm not sure whether they're allowed to do that, if they're supposed to do that.
What is the wire there for?
It's a screened bottom board.
Oh, okay.
Now what I'm going to do is move this back and move this one over here, and I'll put the flow box where that used to be, and then the bees coming home will go straight into the flow box. So this is a frame that was sitting in between the brood of one of our other colonies, so I'm just going to add this to it. This is what I want. This is a frame. It's all worker. Okay, so they've built it up all worker, and a lot of it's sealed, and there's all young larvae in there and eggs. So I'm going to put that. That'll be number 5 away from you, Wilma. So this one has a large area of drone comb. I'm going to cut that out. Cut that about. And then if the bees want to build it in drone comb again, well, they can. Hopefully they'll build worker in the middle, and they might put drone comb on the outside frames.
Nice honey.
Beautiful, yeah. Could be leptospermum. Anyway, so they've got that one frame that's fully built. It's a good guide for them. Well, I'm going to put the rest of these bees in there. I can use these frames on one of my other hives. I never use a brush. A little shake like that, that's all you need. I bought a brush once and I used it once and never used it since. That goes there. It'll be a couple of days before these get picked up. So what I'm going to do is evenly space these frames on the ledge.
And why do you do that, Jeff?
Because if you've got any wide gaps, if you've got a real big gap, just say for argument's sake, you got them like that, and you've got a big gap there, they'll build another comb in that gap.
Oh, okay.
And you want to also, if you build it, leave it nice and evenly spaced, the bees will put propolis around that lug, around all those lugs.
Oh, yeah.
So actually that frame doesn't belong in there. So I've got to swap that one out. That belongs to me.
Oh, careful, the queen might be on there.
Yeah, I'll just give it a gentle shake. I'll get the other frame. Now that drone comb goes out, and just leave the worker comb.
Lovely quiet bees.
Beautiful. There's no guarantee that progeny will be quiet because the progeny from this queen hasn't showed their temperament yet. So the idea now is to even up these gaps, and you want a bit of a gap on the outside. You don't want your brood too close to the outside, hard up against the outside, because it gives the small hive beetle an area they can sort of sneak in and lay eggs. If you want to move the bees away from where you're working, just give it a little puff of smoke, and then the bees will move away from where you want to work. Now that's that. I'll go and get the crown board. A gentle puff of smoke around the ledge, that'll drive the bees away for you, and then you can put your crown board on without any problems. What I'll do is I'll put my lid back on here, and then that'll keep the weather out of it. I forgot that's
it's too wide.
10 frame lid. But I've got an 8 frame lid somewhere. I've got this 8 frame lid here, and that'll just keep the weather out of it. So have a look at the bees at the entrance. Won't be long and they'll all be inside. So we can just assume this was a nuke box, that somebody purchased a nuke of bees. There's still a lot of bees in this box. Now I'm not going to shake these in. All you've got to do, because we saw the queen is in this box, the bees won't leave this box and come back here because we know the queen's in there. All I have to do is just put it on its side like that, and then the bees will just go down to the entrance. So these brood frames here that I took out will go on top of one of my other hives. It's fairly strong, and that'll only make that hive even stronger. Now in a couple of days the people will be able to pick up their hive, and they haven't got very far to go, so there's no need to jam the frames up against each other. But if they had any distance to go, a fair distance to go, it'd be advisable to jam the frames up against each other and wedge them in nice and tight, and that way they won't move around. So because they haven't got far to go, and I'm going to advise them to take it steady, we can leave that spacing and they'll be okay.
Okay.
Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
I came out after daylight this morning and checked out this, and I discovered that the core flute was in the lower setting, which made a gap between the core flute and the screen bottom board. So I took the core flute out and had a look through, and there wasn't any bees under the screen bottom board, so the bees were all up in the nest. And I discovered that with the core flute on the higher setting directly under the screen, so therefore the bees can't go through. So that becomes a solid floor, which is what I prefer anyway. But what other people do, it's up to them. Now let's have a look around the front and see what the bees are doing there. Looking good, aren't they?
They're working away happily.
Yeah.
They're working away happily.
Beautiful.